So Crown Zenith right now is kind of defying the odds of what's possible with Pokemon investing and Pokemon collecting, and it's not really making sense on how kind of low the prices are for such a highly desired product. And I want to go through that today, and I want to kind of take you through Crown Zenith and how interesting of a set it is, and how it's kind of crazy the fact on how it's performing after, such a desired set. It just seems like it does not want to budge with pricing, and it's actually kind of going the opposite way where it should be rising in value, but it's actually going down, and I'm going to be taking you through that today. And I just want to say, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Phil. I'm a marketing professional, and I run this Pokemon investing, Pokemon collecting YouTube channel. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to have you on board, and you can kind of keep up to date with new Pokemon sets by subscribing, and you'll also see some of my market insights and get to know me as a person. So now, Crown Zenith, all right, here's the thing. I did make a video talking about the top 10 greatest Pokemon sets of all time, and Crown Zenith did make that list, and it made it in one of the top positions of the list, and I explain in very big detail why I think Crown Zenith is such a great set. Crown Zenith is an anomaly at the moment, and the reason for that is it's not making a lot of sense. First reason, it's a Sword and Shield set. Sword and Shield is like Pokemon's new rebirth, right? So they had the Nintendo Switch era, which is one of the most highest selling consoles of all time. It was like a worldwide phenomenon. So many people got introduced to Pokemon on a massive, massive scale with Sword and Shield. I actually did a deep dive talking about how many people purchased the original Red, Blue, and Yellow games and how many people purchased Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's quite similar in sales. Pokemon actually hasn't sold a game as well as Sword and Shield for nearly 20 years. So it's very interesting that Sword and Shield perform at such a high level, and Scarlet and Violet is the same. So Pokemon also had a bit of a huge resurgence with Sword and Shield. It's not like Pokemon was dying off. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying, I think it was like Sun and Moon era sold something like 16 million copies. I don't have the exact data on me right now, but they sold well over the 20 million mark. So you can see how much Sword and Shield sold and how many more people were reintroduced to Pokemon. And a lot of people got back into Pokemon with Sword and Shield because of obviously the Nintendo Switch drawed them back in with such a huge worldly demand. That also spilled into the TCG. Now, Crown Zenith is the ending Sword and Shield set. It is the finale set. So the fact that it is being quite stubborn with its pricing is really interesting. There's a few reasons for that, right? Firstly, Crown Zenith was just printed into oblivion. This thing kind of had no brake pedal with how much was being printed. It was being kind of exhausted with its printing demands. And I think that was a really good choice from Pokemon to print Crown Zenith to a higher level because of the kind of caliber of Pokemon in the set. And not only that, there was just so much demand for this set as well. So Pokemon kind of said, hey, we're not going to let people scalp these products. We're going to make sure that you can get a lot of Crown Zenith. And they did a few waves of reprints of Crown Zenith, and they're still doing it with new Crown Zenith products coming out every few months. And it's kind of, even in 2024, we're getting Crown Zenith, which is really interesting, right? So this is the reason why Crown Zenith is being quite stubborn. Though I want to take you through Crown Zenith, and I want to show you a few cool things about it. So here I am on the Elite Trainer box for Crown Zenith. Now I want to go show you this, right? So last year, and we can see Crown Zenith ETBs were selling for around 56 USD. Pretty good price, not too crazy expensive, but you can see they dropped by November to 40 USD in ETB, and you can see they kind of held that price hold all the way until around May this year, and then they went up to 51 USD, but you can see that market stability. It's kind of sitting at 53 USD for an ETB. I think that is quite good price for Crown Zenith, given the caliber of artworks, given how high quality this set is. I think that is an amazing price. I am very, very interested to see how Crown Zenith will perform in the next 2 years. And there could be weird things that happen with Crown Zenith. Do not forget what happened with Fusion Strike. Earlier this year, Fusion Strike was like getting on sales. It was not even that highly desired, but then in February and March of 2024, it nearly doubled in price, right? So crazy things can happen very quickly with kind of products like these. Now, Crown Zenith has been out for a while, so it is likely that given the right time period, given the right demand, given that people all flip the switch on it, it could rise, right? I mean, that's just how this game works. you know, like if you've been in Pokemon investing for a while, you know how the game works. It's not this like slow little $53, $55, $60 price range. What usually happens within a period of like literally 2 weeks, it will just go from 55 US to 80 USD and it sets a new established price point. That's usually how it works, right? It happens very quickly, very sharply, and that's just kind of the game that we are dealing with right now, right? Moving on to the next one, which is the Pokemon Center ETB for Crown Zenith. Now, this one's been all over the place, as you can see. Now, it was sitting at 121 and then it dropped to 112. It looks kind of crazy in price, but it's kind of like $5 to $10 differences. Right now, it's sitting at 113 USD. Now, the Pokemon Center ETB, yes, it is cool. So the sleeves in it are great and you get some kind of more packs inside. But one of the drawbacks of the Pokemon Center ETB is that the Pokemon Center promo inside the ETB does not have a Pokemon Center promo stamp. That is a huge misstep. I think that actually affects the box price enormously. If that Lucario VSTAR artwork had a Pokemon Center promo stamp, it would be a completely different ballgame. And I actually think that's kind of the main reason why the Pokemon Center version isn't climbing that high, because you cannot even differentiate that promo with a regular ETB promo. The only difference that you get is a few more Crown Zenith packs and you get the sleeves. So I don't think that the Pokemon Center ETB for Crown Zenith is as attractive as other Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Center ETBs, particularly because there isn't that Pokemon Center stamped promo. But as you can see, still hasn't even budged. You know, that price for a whole year has stayed very consistent. Now, this one is actually one of my favorites because these are the set of the 3 pin collections. These are blister packs. Now, these are actually great. Now, I love blister packs and I actually personally don't invest in loose packs. And, you know, I've made a lot of videos explaining why I don't invest in loose packs. And I'll link one for you right now so you can watch that if you're interested in that, right? The reason why I like blister packs is that they are very hard to tamper with and, you know, they are sealed and, you know, they're just much more, they protect the consumer far more in terms of resealing and things like that. And more so, they're very hard to weigh, things like that. There's a lot of reasons why. But this is really interesting. So this is the 3 set collection, right? So you get the Rillaboom, the Cinderace, and the Inteleon all in the blister pack. You know, you get 3 of them, right? But it looks like it's climbed up a lot. It actually hasn't, because if you go down here, it's $42. So that is actually still at the same price point. This is also interesting, man, because how long can it stay at this price point? I'm not sure, but Crown Zenith is definitely not performing as kind of a lot of people anticipated. A lot of people thought Crown Zenith would be rising, same as Lost Origin, same as Fusion Strike, same as Chilling Reign. It is definitely lagging behind. Moving on to the next one. Pikachu Secret Rare, one of my favorite artworks of the Sword and Shield era. This is one of my favorite Pikachu cards to date, including promo cards. It is such an amazing card. And you know, it's very easy to pull. So it's actually not that rare to pull. But as you can see, the price point, I'm gonna take you through last year, sitting at 11 USD. And this one is now selling for 8 USD. The lowest point in the market ever was 6 USD. You know, it's sitting at the kind of same price point it's always been. So it's not really moving at all, though it's very interesting to see what's gonna happen with this Pikachu. As you can see earlier this year, it went up to $11 and now it's kind of, you know, tapered down to $8. Not like that's a crazy increase in price by any means whatsoever, but it is very interesting to see that a card of this high quality artwork is not getting that much demand. And I think the reason for that is because it is quite easy to pull. I opened a few Crown Zenith, I pulled this as well. It wasn't a problem to pull. And if you watch a lot of Pokemon YouTubers opening products, you actually see that it's quite common to pull. And I think the pull rates for it were quite generous, right? Moving on to the next one, which is the chase card of the set, which is the Giratina VSTAR. Now, this card, I'm going to go pull it into the year graph, and you can see this was sitting last year at around an $85 card. It kind of climbed all the way in May this year with the alt art boom that happened to 138 USD, and now it's sitting at 97 USD. Quite a significant dip. I'm going to pull that into the 3-month graph, and you can see that this is kind of going on a very slow downward spiral. Nothing like a crazy drop, but it's just slowly dropping down. Really, really interesting, man, because, you know, it's not that easy to pull this card. It is an amazing artwork. It is Giratina, a very, very loved Pokemon. So it's kind of crazy to see that these prices are going down. Whether or not that's because there's been a few more products that have released, I'm not sure, but it's really interesting to see that Crown Zenith is actually going the opposite of what a lot of people expected, and that is actually kind of rare, right? A lot of people thought Crown Zenith would be performing, you know, similar to Pokemon 151, how it's performing right now. So to see see this, it's actually going the complete opposite direction. Moving on to the next one, which is the Arceus VSTAR. Now you can see here, this was sitting at a $53 card in October last year, and then it kind of boomed to a crazy $99 USD card, which is quite expensive, and now it's kind of gone down to 60 USD, which the lowest point in the market in the year was 50. So this is kind of very close to its next low. If I pull that into a 3-month graph, you can see it was selling for 75 USD 3 months ago, and now it's going for 61 USD, kind of on a very strong downward spiral as well. Very, very interesting to see. This is one of the chase cards for Crown Zenith. Quite weird. It's not making much sense. Moving on to the next one, which is the Glaceon VSTAR, one of my favorite cards from Crown Zenith. An amazing evolution. They really did good with the Glaceon and the Leafeon, which I'll take you through the Leafeon in a sec. But you can see this. Check this out. Sitting at $19 in September last year, then it had this crazy boom to 42 USD, and now check that out, it's selling for $22. It's literally back to its low. Very, very interesting. Kind of had this crazy boom, kind of gone down. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that there's been more Crown Zenith products out in the wild. It's very likely for the reason the price drops, but still, it's kind of crazy seeing that these prices are very, very low, considering, you know, just in May this year, they were selling for 40 USD a pop. Now, moving on to the Leafeon, which is actually one of my favorite Crown Zenith cards. I'm gonna pull that into the year graph. You can see last year selling for $19, and you can see this kind of went all the way up to a $29 card, and now it's kind of gone back to a $21 card. I'm going to pull that in the 3-month graph, and you can see, same thing with this. This is just going down. Very, very interesting. Crown Zenith singles are really taking a big hit. Moving on to the next one, which is the Suicune V. Same thing with this, man. Last year, selling at a $16 card, climbed up to a 30 USD card, and now it's selling for $17. It is back to its low of last year. Pretty much any gains that you made with this card or that you thought you would have made have completely been wiped out. Crown Zenith is definitely looking in a weird position. One of the more interesting ones is the Mewtwo. So the Mewtwo here, you can see last year selling for 46 USD, climbed up all the way to 69 USD, and now it's selling for 53 USD. Same thing, a lot of these Crown Zenith cards are on a downward spiral. Though as interesting as it is, it does kind of bring up questions of what is the future of Crown Zenith, and more in particularly, what is the future of Pokemon investing? Pokemon investing is changing a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of new things that happen with Pokemon investing as time goes on. And if you do wanna know what are some of the cool things to look out for the future of Pokemon investing, I actually tackle that question in this video right here. Within this video, I look over the future of Pokemon investing, and I go through some of the things we as collectors need to look out for. Some things include the crossroad between the physical and digital aspect, and I just go through a general deep dive of what to expect for the future of Pokemon investing. If you're interested in the future of this hobby, I recommend you click that video that's appearing on screen, and I'll see you there.